G'day, my fellow Diablo 3 heavy metal horror fiends! Welcome back. This is a different variation for the brand new Demon Hunter Gears of Dreadlands set. And in my last video, or in my first upload on this brand new Demon Hunter set, I did a Bolas version. This is a Hungering Arrow version. And, you know, to be honest, I couldn't help myself. I had to try a different version. I know for a fact Blizzard is going to definitely make changes to this set. They have to. There's a lot of things that really need to be changed. It doesn't really work right now the way I'm sure that they intended to. But anyway, I couldn't help myself. I wanted to try the Hungering Arrow version before I go and play the new Necromancer set, which is coming real soon. I'm going to pump this video, get it out of the way. Enough Demon Hunter talk. I'm going to definitely come back with a Necromancer video next. I'm dying to check out that new set. But anyway, this is the brand new Gears of Dreadlands set for the Demon Hunter. My issues right now with it is the momentum stacks don't last long enough, nowhere near long enough, and we're so squishy it's not even funny. So survivability, damage reduction definitely needs to be buffed. And all round the damage is mid-tier at best. It's average at best. It's definitely not super powerful, and it's not going to be one of the top tier GR pushing builds, as is right now anyway, but I definitely am looking forward to Blizzard making some changes. So let's get straight into gear here. What we have equipped is the Gears of Dreadlands helm, chest piece, boots, shoulders, and gloves. So 5 pieces because we have Ring of Royal Grandeur in Can Ice Cube, but we'll get to Can Ice Cube shortly. In the amulet slot, we've got Flavor of Time. So pylon effects last twice as long in GR. This is especially helpful considering how squishy the Demon Hunter Gears of Dreadlands is right now. Wraps of Clarity for damage reduction. This is a lightning build, by the way. Hungering Arrow lightning build. It's also lightning when we're strafing. So hand in hand, get lightning damage wherever you can, such as Amulet and your braces here. Moving on. Hunter's Wrath, great for primary skills. They deal 30% faster and they deal 174% damage. We are using Hungering Arrow, which is a primary skill. Moving on to the rings here. We've got Focus and Restraint. We've got the Depth Diggers here in the pants slot. Moving down to weapons. Now I'm using Fortress Ballista again for damage reduction because we're so damn squishy. The legendary stat here is attacks grant you an absorb shield 3% of your maximum life, and it stacks up to 10 times. So this is nice. This gives us some further damage reduction and adds to our survivability, which is very much needed at the moment as is. And Dawn here, which reduces cooldown of Vengeance by 64%. You definitely want to get 60+% cooldown reduction of Vengeance for this, because in total we're aiming for about 45% cooldown reduction so we can keep our Vengeance up 100% of the time. Alright, the gems we're using, the legendary gems are Bane of the Stricken, I'm using Simplicity, Strength, and Bane of the Trapped. Now, the regular gems we're using all diamond gems wherever possible, except the weapons. Obviously, we're using our emerald gems because we want to get that really overpowered critical hit damage up by 130% per weapon there. And as you can see down here are all the other items I've been experimenting with. Just, you know, chopping and changing items around, trying different primary skills. You can pretty much buff any primary skill and make it your primary weapon. However, right now, I don't think any of the primary skills are going to make too much of a difference, especially when it comes to survivability and even damage at the moment, because they just need to make some changes, like I mentioned before, about this set, but I'm not going to ramble on about that. Now, Can Ice Cube. Very, very importantly, I've got the 9th series satchel here. Now, I have experimented with having that equipped, but I definitely wanted the Fortress Ballista here. And with the Fortress Ballista, it wouldn't make sense to have this in Can Ice Cube because the effect would be the same. We'd gain the Absorb Shield for 3% of our maximum life, stacking 10 times. And the 9th Sigil, as you can see here, we get maximum damage output at 600%, whereas the item here is 568, which is above average anyway. I've seen these quivers roll at like 300, 400%. So we're we're missing out potentially up to 200% damage. So just get that 9th series satchel in your Canonized Cube there. With armor, I'm going for something different here. I was using the Visage of Goons, but I've taken that out. I'm using Mantle of Channeling now. We're not using the Seethe rune with Vengeance, but we'll get to skills next. And like I mentioned earlier, Ring of Royal Grandeur, so we can get this full 6-piece set bonus out of this brand new set for the Demon Hunter. Let's go into skills real quick and then jump into a GR. I'm trying to go through this as quickly as possible because, as you all know, when something new comes out, I tend to ramble and explain things a little bit too much, in too much detail. Hungering Arrow, Shatter Shot. Now, I actually just enjoy talking to you people. I love you all so much, that's why I just can't help myself. I love spending time with everyone. Strafe with Drifting Shadow. A fan of Knives with Bladed Armor, again for more damage reduction. Vengeance, Dark Heart for damage reduction. Smokescreen Displacement for damage avoidance for a couple seconds. Preparation Invigoration to get back discipline so we can keep on casting Smokescreen. For passives, Ambush, Thrill of the Hunt, Color of the Week, and Perfectionist, which reduces the cost of our discipline skills. So our Smokescreen there costs less discipline, so we can keep our discipline up a lot easier. And it also increases our armor and resistance to all damage types by 10%. So more damage reduction. Damage reduction everywhere, god damn it. If you're pretty good at playing this set and the Demon Hunter, then you can avoid damage pretty easily for the most part. However, if you're pushing GR 100 plus, you're going to have a lot of trouble. Literally, you can get one shot from like GRs 80, 85 plus here. Unless, of course, you have all this damage reduction that I have. But even then, we can run into trouble quite easily. So we have spoken enough about this set right now. I've gone through all the items required, the skills required. I think that's enough information. If you have any further questions, hit me up down below. But I think we should probably wait a little bit for Blizzard to implement some changes during these couple of weeks. I hope they implement the changes while PTR is still active so we can keep testing out the changes. But I'm pretty sure everyone out there that plays Demon Hunter agrees with me that we need to really fix the duration of the stacks and the damage reduction. I'm going to do something that most players haven't done with the Demon Hunter and the Gears of Dreadlands set. Most people are doing like GR clears of 70, 75. I'm going to go 90 because I feel like the Hungering Arrow build that I've come up with here and the items I've come up with, I think this is a much better combination than the Bolas one, I think. But let's test it out. Let's crank it up to a 90 and see how we go with this Hungering Arrow Lightning build. Alright, let's go in there and do this one together. I'll keep y'all company and talk a bunch of crapola along the way. How's that sound? Good? Alright, let's go. And no, I have not been drinking yet. It is far too early in the day, and besides, I can't go out in the daylight. If the sun hits me before 3 PM, I turn to dust. In all seriousness though, I am amped up on coffee. I've had 2 big mugs of strong coffee, so I feel pretty talkative, and I really want to get through this video so I can start playing the Necromancer set. But there will be beer. There will be beer this evening, and there will be delicious craft beer. It is Saturday after all. We're all still stuck at home. Well, I am. I think next week things are easing up over here in Australia, and we can start sort of going out a little bit more. Cafes, restaurants will be opening only. No gyms at the moment, so a lot of baby fat has been added during this time, but what can you do? That such is life. At least the Diablo patch 2.6.9 PTR is up now, so I can keep myself occupied. And this is how the Hungering Arrow build works. So it is, if you're pretty good and you can move your finger quick enough and click quick enough, you can kind of keep your stacks up there, kind of like they're probably meant to be. I think once you get to 10, you're supposed to easily be able to keep it at 10 instead of always stopping strafe and trying to build up your stacks again. It is a very unique build in terms of you have to get those stacks up, you have to stop, use your primary skill, bang, 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 and then and only then can you strafe. And as you can see, look, like 4, 3, 2, 1, they're gone. So the stacks were pretty much fully depleted and I had to get them up again. So usually it's pretty safe to strafe. I'm a poet, I didn't even know it. It's safe to strafe if you've got 5 or more stacks up, if you're down to like 2 and 3, you're better off finding a safe place, strafing on through enemies, getting to a safe spot, such as over here, and then just hit your primary skills to get more stacks up. And then 9 or 10 stacks, you're loving it, you're killing it. Start strafing, and as you're strafing, my advice is keep hitting the Hungering Arrow primary skill. That way, you're getting your primary skills being cast not only by your strafe, but also by yourself. So in theory, you should be able to keep stacks up a little bit easier. It's still quite challenging. Unless there's a lot of density, then you'll definitely keep your stacks up at 10. Kind of like I am here now. See, I haven't stopped strafing. I'm just strafing and also using my primary skill, my Hungering Arrow. And I'm capped at, just like went to 9. But I'm sort of lingering around 9 and 10 stacks. And then as enemies become more scarce, they start dropping. So kind of important at this stage with this set to have enemies around you, have density around you. And you're going to also have trouble at this stage keeping your stacks up if enemies are dying too quickly. So a regular Torment 16 Nephilim Rift or something like that, I'd be strafing maybe only half the time, and the other half I'll have to just be standing there shooting my primary skill, my Hungering Arrows away. Because everything's dying too quickly and you can't maintain those stacks. You know, you maintain your stacks by hitting enemies. Alright, so we're progressing pretty easily here through GR90. I think the Hungering Arrow version is better than the Bolas, but to be fair, I have made some changes. Like I've taken out Visage of Goons and added a couple things differently in this one. So theoretically, if I did the same to Bolas, it might be just as good, if not better. But I'm not going to tamper around anymore with the Demon Hunter today. I'm going to play the Necromancer next. So if people are interested in seeing this brand new Necromancer set, then you're in luck. You've come across to the right channel. By chance, you found me. We can be best friends forever now, and we can play Diablo together. We can play other video games together. We can listen to heavy music together. We can talk about movies together. This is what you get here on the channel, so what are you waiting for? Subscribe and keep coming back so we can hang out. Especially during this time where everyone's got a lot of time on their hands. You're at home, most of you still. You should have the internet in this day and age, unless you're like my parents, who never will have the internet. They still have like an old bank book where you get that big stamp, cha-ching, cha-ching, at the bank. Yeah, they actually walk into a bank these days, can you believe it? And they don't even have mobile phones. They're that ancient. It's like they're from a village in Slovakia or something like that, so they're used to like going out and with a massive stick on their shoulder blades and coming back with 2 buckets of water and going out and making like a bow and arrow out of like a tree that you find out somewhere, a Victorian tree. And no, I don't know, I'm talking shit. I don't think they're that primitive. Hunters and gatherers, though. No, they're not that primitive, but what I'm trying to say is, obviously, if you're watching this now, you've got the internet somewhere, somehow. Just keep accessing it. Keep coming back to visit this extremely hairy guy right here. I'm going to lose about 10 kilos once I start shaving some of this hair off. I mean, you think this is bad? You should see my legs. Thanks, Mum and Dad, for being born in Eastern Europe and giving me this blessing of thick, luscious hair. Might as well call me Sasquatch. Like I said, the brand new Necromancer set is coming out real soon. I'm going to play it tonight. We'll see what we can come up with. We'll see how many beers I'm in, and then that'll determine whether or not a video will be recorded tonight or early on tomorrow morning. So just make sure you come back. Stay tuned. It will be dropping real soon. Until then, stay safe out there, please. Stay heavy metal as always, and stay creepy. God damn it.